need an ambulance. My friend, she's coughing up blood, she's got stomach pains. Yeah, we're on the corner of Hodges and Derby.
I was in Massachusetts attending a wedding, and I was just killing time in the gift store in the hotel lobby and saw this little, thin book on the Salem witch trials and bought it and stuck it in my pocket and was carrying it around. I was just reading it and, I knew about the witch trials having grown up in Massachusetts, but I hadn't retained any of the information, and I just found it interesting. It just kicked off the idea, the location, the general vibe. The idea of everybody walking around in pilgrim garb, sort of pilgrims hanging other pilgrims from trees. Boring. So I just decided, screw it. I'll just, take the most exciting, cool torture devices and things from the European stuff and just mix it all together. And I mean, there's not an element of reality of history in this movie. It's complete insanity. A lot of the European films are very atmospheric. Those were the films that had the most in common with what I was picturing in my head. Because there's just a certain randomness sometimes to the pacing and the look and the atmosphere in those films. Whereas the American films sometimes are very story-driven and plot-driven, and there's no atmosphere whatsoever. It's just about, get to the point. Whereas, the European films will meander more, and that sort of became this, unknowingly that style sort of filtered its way in.
Of the tormented.
I thought they might actually have a problem with some of the nudity because there's a lot of nudity, a lot of full frontal nudity, but I think actually they were confused thinking some of it was like prosthetics. I really do, and they just varied off it. They never even mentioned it. And will they get a little touchy with the masturbating priest? That seems they don't like that. Lords of Salem might possibly be the last horror film I ever do, because the next 3 projects I can see in the pipeline are not on any level at all. So I just don't always want to do the same thing. I think it becomes stale and it becomes boring. Doesn't mean never say never. Maybe something else will come up. Maybe it could be the next thing, but as far as I can see, it isn't for a long time. So who knows?